So we had a ton of NC State questions this week. They came in through DMs to Tom. They came in the actual mailbag. They are being peppered from all over the place. So this one sort of encapsulates a lot of the NC State conversation, and I want to make sure we get this in here so that all of you can be able to hear it. All the people who ask questions. Guys, I absolutely love the show and listen every week. I started listening at the start of COVID lockdown as an escape from all the bad news. I love the mix of personalities, unbiased analysis, except Danny LOL, laughs, and all the occasional passionate argument. Keep up the good work. So about NC State, there's been a feeling among some of the fan base that we've missed our breakthrough window. This was supposed to be Dave Doran's best roster. It probably has less top-end talent than the 2017 team with its 11 draft picks, including Bradley Chubb, Nyheim Hines, etc., but better quality depth. After several close calls under Doran, we finally got over the hump against an admittedly subpar Clemson. But hey, we finally slayed the Tigers. We lost in Starkville against a solid Bulldog team, but that was our first true road test in front of a real crowd in 2 years and a non-conference game at that. Then we stubbed our toe against a mediocre Miami team. Then last Saturday night, despite having our Atlantic Division destiny in our control, we lost to Wake Forest. Yes, this is a very good Wake team, and we've lost several key starters to injury, but the season now seems like a missed opportunity. Our last ACC football championship was in 1979. Per Joe Giglio, we remain one of only 4 Power 5 programs to never win or tie for a division title since 2000, the others being Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and Indiana. Absent a miracle, it leaves us with another solid but unexceptional 7-9 win under Dave Doran. Yet this is another season with no division or conference title in a wide-open 2021 ACC that won't stay that way for long. I think the typical NC State fan is happy with 7 to 8 win seasons and putting a few guys in the league, so long as we win our share against UNC and have the very occasional shot at a division title when the opportunity presents itself. What should NC State fans think about this? Should we be happy to be an above-average Power 5 program, or should we be disappointed that we likely missed our chance to break through this year? Thanks again, and go Pack, Jonathan.
Well, NC State boys.
I mean, look, I was very high on this team coming into this year. I think you can be both. You can be disappointed that you didn't take advantage of this window because you didn't, right? You should have beaten Miami. You should have probably beaten Mississippi State, and you didn't. You know, you have a lot of talent, especially on offense. You don't seem to score quite as many points as that talent suggests you probably should. Also, those team names that you read off, Kentucky, Indiana, Vanderbilt, what's the common thread here? They all play in divisions where you have several programs who are, better than you historically and currently. Problem here is it's very easy to look at this year and say, damn, like Clemson was down, Florida State was down, and we lost this damn division to Wake? Really? Like that? Yeah, that does suck. I don't like to be the guy that's like, hey, you guys shouldn't have expectations, of greatness once in a while. I think it's kind of crazy to think NC State should compete regularly for the division, but I'm sure it's a bummer for their fans that they have not actually, gone and finished the thing at least one time.
Do you guys know how many double-digit win years they've had? Like
0, right?
51. You know the quarterback was? Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers.
Like, barring some generational type quarterback that you get, that's probably the reality of where you are. Like 8 and 9 wins every year. Maybe you catch magic and get 10, get an ACC championship. And I hate saying but barring a big, massive shift, like you're talking about salary cap or some sort of cap on 4 and 5 stars, and then all of a sudden you get it's things that aren't likely to happen. I'll say this. I think the perception of your program is better than it is at Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and those other teams, Indiana. Like, I think that's good. And I think you're more consistent. Their down years, I think, are worse than your down years. So I don't know. Like, even if you tried to go out and swing for the fences of a head coach, like, I think Dave Doran's doing a great job there. But I think what you are is kind of what you are. And I hate to even say that because you don't want people to just be complacent. I got a buddy of mine who went to NC State, and he always texts me during games. And, I I just think it's kind of what you are. You know, maybe you get capture magic again and you get to 11. I just don't know if it's going to happen.
I mean, if there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, it's that maybe next time you do have that season where you get to 10 or 11 wins, you find yourself with an at-large berth.
Oh, an expanded playoff totally changes it. Don't
Sure.
Yeah.
like don't take this program for which I think 7 to 9 wins, but also that NFL the NFL draft number speaks right to player development, speaks to the program that you've got and the way that it is changing the way that players have from a physical standpoint and also from a skill standpoint. You are teaching the game. You are developing players into pros. Don't bail on that when being able to be the second best team in the ACC Atlantic might be good enough to make it into the new college football playoff. I also totally understand the hurt because that game against Wake, like the Instant Reaction podcast is very tough on us when it comes to all of the 7 and 8 o'clock games. It's just, it's really tough to be watching all of it and also process information as we sit here and the lights go on. I got all of the first half. I didn't get much of the second half. I reviewed that game and it was the old, it was the old drill or the old like basketball. For me, I think of it as a basketball drill. I'm sure it's a football drill too, but you've all got numbers on each side and the ball's in the middle and we call threes, and the threes from each side are just going to sprint to the ball and try to see who can get possession. And the division was right there. Like NC State and Wake Forest were standing on opposite lines. They called the number and they both were scrapping for it. And Wake came out on top. And if you're an NC State fan, having already come up with all of these answers, we lose our All-American linebacker. We lose the team captain who stepped in after him. We had the loss that we thought derailed our season. Then we didn't derail our season. Like you have had an emotional journey. And then to feel like you just got out scrapped and to be very, very basic by Wake. I mean, you just think about like an NC State fan, right? You're like, wait, we got out scrapped and out fought by Wake. I understand why that's why there's so much hurt right now. But in terms of your expectations, I think that Tom brings up a great point. Being what you are might be good enough for the national kind of recognition that you'd be looking for that could come with that division title or that national championship. So one of the reasons why we want to expand the playoff is to keep those 30 to 35 programs interested all the way until the end of the season.